work is getting national attention. It's all about finding your passionate purpose. It says amazing right there, Greg. The amazing Gregory Knapp is here.
I like that.
So we have set this bar very high. This book, as I was looking through it this morning, right off the bat, on page 1, the 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain.
Love it.
And isn't that kind of the purpose of the book?
That's the start, right? I mean, Have you figured out your why yet, right? What do you really want? What are you passionate about?
Right.
Because Joel, I don't know you and I don't know everybody watching, but there's something I do know about you. You want to count, right? You want to make a difference.
Right.
You want to live a life of value and significance. So the way you do that is figure out what is my passionate purpose and then start working on that path. And the day you start doing that, you're already a success. If you're in line with what your passionate purpose is. And so what I do in the book is I walk you through the ways to do this. I mean, I call it your R&R time. It's remember and rediscover. Because your passionate purpose is inside you. It's not out there.
Right.
It's already in here. We got to pull it out. And so I say, let's remember your most successful, most excited, happiest times in your whole life. When you're in the flow or the zone, right? Time's flying.
Right.
People say, man, you were born to do this. You're great at this. And other people have a hard time.
I've never heard that, but thank you for saying it. Thank you for at least fake saying it.
Exactly.
So tell me why somebody should listen to Greg Knapp on this subject. Because people will listen to you and say, wow, that sounds great. And then the cynic in this chair or sitting out there might say, but why would I listen to Greg? What's your personal history that would make this book something we should pay attention to?
I think that's a great question because when I read books like this, I want to know.
Right.
I've lived it. I've been doing this for 30 years. My undergraduate and graduate degrees are in psychology and mental health counseling. And so I've read hundreds of books literally on this stuff, but I've used it in my real life. And the techniques in here and finding my purpose and then finding goals to support it, short and long term, and then action plans, taking consistent action every day, got me from zero experience in radio to being nationally syndicated as a talk show host in 9 years. And I couldn't believe that you could do it that quickly.
Right.
And so I've been applying this to every part of my life, and it works.
So you applied even to like your parenting and
Yep.
everything, and your family life and the whole bit.
Absolutely.
There's another one in here that somebody said this to me once. You are exactly where you should be right now. I'm not sure that they meant it, but is there a sense of, do you ever feel like you're where you're supposed to be? Or is there always a sense of, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be somewhere new.
I really feel like I'm always where I'm supposed to be.
At that moment.
Yeah, I don't believe there are coincidences. I believe that our life path is directed in a certain way, and we're right where we need to be right now to make the decisions to get us where we want to go. And everything that's happened in our life up until this moment has prepared us for this moment to be able to do what we were designed to do.
Right. Now, some people say my only goal, and my mom used to tell my brothers and me this all the time, I just want you to be happy. Just be happy. Isn't making happiness your goal a recipe for disaster? Shouldn't happiness be the byproduct of pursuing something else?
I think that's a really good question. For me, I do think happiness comes from doing what I was born to do.
Right. So if you can find that, that's a great step.
Right, because if you just chase happiness, you can end up on Skid Row, man. Right? Drinking, drugs. There's a lot of people who are super rich who aren't very happy. Right.
Right.
So finding what is really inside you and pursuing that, I think, leads to happiness and leads to that life we talked about: meaning, significance, value. My favorite quote from Zig Ziglar is this one. He said, "You can get everything you want in this life if you just help enough other people get what they want." Right? So when you're serving others, that's when you get success too. And that's what brings that life that's really worth living. Instead of asking people, how do you make a life? I like to ask them, how do you make a living? I like to ask them, how do you earn a life?
Right.
That's what we should be doing.
See, altruism can be a wonderfully selfish thing.
Absolutely.
So another thing you say here is sometimes it's okay to quit. So do our passions change over time? And is there a certain point where we should say, okay, this was okay for a while, but I'm going to do it? I mean, how do we know when to quit? And is that kind of a normal pathway?
Yeah, I love that it's okay to quit, because if it's not, then how can you ever try something new?
Right.
Because you try and you can never quit. There's a difference between quitting and giving up. Giving up is just, I can't do it. Like my parents, when I started Little League, they said, you're going to have to play the entire season. You realize this, right? You can't quit in the middle. That's giving up. But if I played a season of Little League and I go, you know what, I think I'd rather play soccer. Well, that's not giving up. That's just quitting that and trying something new. So yeah, I think you can have multiple passionate purposes at the same time, and you can move to new ones later in life. I actually have a presentation I give on passionate purpose later in life. Laura Ingalls Wilder didn't publish her first book till she was 65. And there's this guy named Fauja Singh, didn't find his passionate purpose of running for charities until he was 89. He ran his first competitive marathon at 89.
Amazing.
Now, he did give up. His last one was when he was 102.
See, he finally gave up.
Finally quit.
Quitter. Well, this is a fascinating book, and go find it. It'll get your conversation started and make you think. We're going to have a link to Gregory's website on ours, kclive.tv. There's the book right now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice.